What's up guys, it's Scoopman5000 and today we're back for another action figure review, rolling on here with the Venompool Wave. We looked at Venom if you missed it, and now we're looking at Carnage. And like Venom, if you buy the case, you're going to be getting two, they're double packed, and that's great because I think Venom and Carnage obviously are going to be the top sellers of this wave, and not every figure has to be so ridiculously hard to find. So get as many Carnage and Venoms on the shelf, make sure every collector can get one. For me, I'm going to be using both, and this is cool too because what you're getting in the packaging is the Absolute Carnage, the modern comic book head, but if you just want a more traditional Carnage for your collection, they throw in the second head. And for those of us that bought the case, we can do them both. So the box here is what we're used to with the Venom themed Marvel Legends. So it's the white box with the Venom logo. See the Venom logo up top. And on each side, we're getting a Absolute Venom artwork here. On the back of the box, you're getting the render, you're getting the Build-A-Figure information, the rest of the wave, which we're going to look at on the channel, and then you get the readout. Twisted criminal Cletus Kasady sows chaos in the streets as the bloodthirsty villain Carnage. There's the barcode on the bottom. But that's about it for the packaging, so let's get to it and bust out Carnage. And here's Carnage all out of the packaging. For his accessories, the Build-A-Figure piece here is the head for Venompool, but we'll look at that more once we get to him. And then he comes with some tendrils, kind of a back piece that pegs into his back, and you can get a better look at that. And then obviously the two head sculpts. So the one that comes on the figure is the Absolute Carnage, the modern look. And I'm not familiar with Absolute Carnage, but I guess Carnage becomes a god, and that is more or less the story. And then you get a more traditional Carnage head if you want him as your traditional Carnage for the shelf. And since I got two, you can see both figures of both heads here. Doesn't really change much in terms of the height or the articulation, just gives you options, and that's always good for these guys. We'll go ahead and we'll take a look at the figure. And so the head sculpts on both of them, they have the raised veins going on, and that's the entire motif here with this figure. You go ahead and bring in your previous Carnage figure. You can see that all the paint here is the detail, but it's a bucket cap body nonetheless, and then on the head it's even smooth for the most part. So what they went for here on this Carnage is a totally sculpted, gnarly look with this guy, and I think it's awesome. And it's one of those situations where if you just want one Carnage, I think you got to go with this one. You got to update your previous. So he's got the all black face, the teeth going on, the spiral up top because this is Absolute Carnage, and you can see the sculpted veins going all the way across the head. The paint here is very nice on both heads. Fortunately, the paint is very nice on both heads. I don't really see much splotching, and the body especially has some great paint for what it accomplishes here. Every single sculpted on vein here is painted in black, and it's done very clean for the most part, so bravo to Hasbro for doing that. Getting a better look at that back piece, you can see it pegs off right here, but it has a bit of a arced back shape to it, the same kind of shape you get on the figure. So when you do go and attach it, it does blend in fairly well because there is so much going on. It almost looks like it is part of the figure, and that just gives you the effect of some tendrils coming out, some symbiote pieces, and that carries through on the arms as well. It's unique on both sides, so you get a smaller piece, a larger piece up here, and then here you just get them at the base of the wrist. And those are kind of integrated into the sculpt. You get the same things at the bottom of the legs here, at the boots. And going in and bringing in these bodies, it looks like it's definitely based on the same Bucky cap. Maybe it's a little bit thinner, but it's similar proportions as the previous Carnage. But it is, like I said, brand new sculpt, and it also introduces some new articulation with the butterflies up here, which is nice. So you get some extra range on your Carnage, which is good. You can get a better look at the front of him here. All sorts of sculpted veins going down into the shoulders, the bicep. You got the forearm and the wrist. Even on the hands, it's all brand new. It seems, again, based on the previous Carnage figures, but they did not cheap out on sculpt at all here. Just plenty of detail going on. That carries down to the crotch piece, the thighs, the legs, all of that going on. And then brand new for this figure as well is the feet even. You got the kind of clawed feet look. On your previous Carnage, it was more classic, just looked more like boots. And again, that's all because of reusing sculpt and all that. But here you get some brand new feet, and you can get a better look at him from the back. But overall, there isn't really much to say because it is pretty uniform throughout the whole thing. But that's not to say it's not packed with detail and a very impressive Marvel Legends figure. Going over his articulation, we do get a hinge on his neck. We didn't get one with movie Venom, but we do get a hinge on his neck. So he looks all the way up, and he also looks down pretty well. You get all the rotation and pivot that you need. The ab crunch goes back that much, and it goes forward very well. You can almost look completely down. Then you get the butterfly shoulder, so it goes in just a little bit. Looks like it goes back a bit more. And it's honestly not the best butterfly, but I'll take it. But I'd rather have it than not. You could still get some decently dynamic stuff with the butterfly than without it. You get the standard waist swivel. This one's pretty clicky. You get the hinge and swivel at the shoulder, the upper bicep cut. You get a pretty good double jointed elbow, and then a hinge and a swivel at the wrist. And if you have the previous Carnage, you can go ahead and use that accessory he came with, and it's going to be lacking the amount of detail that the current figure has, but I think it works. You can definitely see this as a weapon that this Carnage will be using. He almost goes all the way on splits, and then he's got the upper thigh cut. The double jointed knee is very nice. He's got a cut at where the boot would be, and then he's got a hinge and an ankle rocker at the feet. And that about covers Carnage, so now we'll go ahead and do some comparisons. So here you can see him with the retro carded Spider-Man and a Tom Holland Spider-Man. You can see he stands just in between them, and that's about right for Cletus Kasady. And then here you can see him with Scream and with Lasher, some other symbiotes, and you can see they all have a similar height, and I really like how all these look together. And here's Carnage with his family of symbiotes. We got the Hyperion Venom and Toxin. And like I said in the Venom video, I really want to see a Toxin with some slimmer proportions, closer to that of this Carnage figure. And then we'll go ahead and bring in the previous Carnage, who's a great figure but just gets blown away by this new one, and then the movie Venom from this wave that we already took a look at. And overall, that's going to do it for your look at this new Carnage figure, and it's very cool to get a modern Carnage with the Absolute Venom headpiece, because if you're a fan of the modern comics, it's cool to get a figure that is right out of those pages that you're buying currently. And then for a lot of us, it's a nice throw-in to get the classic Carnage head as well. And with both of them in my collection, I couldn't be happier with them. Not much to complain about. They got all the articulation you need, and they'll look great fighting Spider-Man and Venom on your shelf. As always, I'm going to be posting some figure photography, and you can see more of that over at Instagram, scoopman_5000. I already looked at Venom, so definitely go check that one out, and I'll be looking at the rest of the wave throughout the week. I got plenty more on the way in terms of other figures. We got some DC Multiverse, some Ninja Turtles, some Storm collectibles, all that kind of stuff is coming very soon to the channel. And obviously, when we're done with this wave, we're going to be looking at the Venompool Build-A-Figure, and we started out with the head here, and I'm very excited to get the rest of them built because it does look like a crazy Build-A-Figure. In the comments, let me know what you guys think of this figure. Are you going to pick it up along with any other figures in this wave? And until next time, I'll see you guys in the next action figure review.